What's this video on your channel that it's recommending? I just see a mix. It is the Mackie Pro FX 12 V12.
Oh, what a video to start on my channel with, man. Oh, God.
Was that your first? Oh yeah, it was. I remember you.
No,
I think
it wasn't the first, but it was
one
up,
of the first.
It was up there. The first one was how to start a podcast, basically.
Oh, did I just get the notification for you? Yeah, I did. There we go.
All
Notifications are happening.
Hey, we got one viewer. Hey, two viewers. Welcome to the show.
Neither of them are me because it's not. There we go.
Now my camera's all crooked. I'm gonna. If you can't see me, but that's the ISOVOX beside me. There
we go.
It's massive. And for some reason, I'm getting my video. Do you have me cycling back, man?
I just had to mute YouTube.
Okay, all right. I'm still going in my ear. I'm doubled. Hey, Jan. There we go. What did you have on that I was cycling back through?
Just the PC audio. So your clean feed was coming back and then going back through clean feed because clean feed doesn't have echo cancellation.
Well, it does in the Pro.
Echo cancellation is garbage anyways.
It's not bad on there actually.
I don't like it because it screws with. I think one of the reasons clean feed is so clean is because of how few things there are screwing with the audio.
The echo cancellation really works well if you're wearing headphones. If you're trying to get echo cancellation on something that's like
most of the time it's speakers. I mean, I think it's assumed if you're on headphones, your echo is probably not going to be echoing.
Yeah.
Unless you're using like open back headphones, which I have seen people like buy one pair of headphones and it's open back and they do podcasts. I'm like, what are you doing? Why?
How to fuck up your audio instantly.
Pretty much. So I have a thing to talk about.
Oh.
For a change.
Oh, you're just going to blow your load right off the bat, eh?
There we go.
Hey, Midnight Wolf.
Speaking of things to do at night, blowing loads.
Jesus.
Demonetized instantly. No, so as you probably know, have you heard of a product called SoundForge?
Yeah. Sony SoundForge.
And Acid.
Yeah.
Sony and these were made by Sony Creative Software. So I don't know if you knew this or not, but Sony Creative Software was bought like 5 or 6 years ago by Magix GmbH. And Magix was the company that did Magix Music Maker was a thing for a while. So now
Magic Logic back in the day. That used to be the day.
So now they have Magix Acid and Magix, and all I can assume, and this is kind of I guess going back to our conversation several lives ago about companies like the company that bought what was it, Ultimate Guitar that bought Audacity.
Yeah, Audacity.
Yeah. And it's like so. Sony with like it was, and I used Acid for years. It was my first real DAW, and like maybe 10, 15 years ago, and it's I remember it was at 7, like Acid 7.0 for probably a decade.
Yeah,
that was the number. And now Magix bought it not that long ago, and already they're up to Acid 10. Like they've been really, and now SoundForge 15. They've even bought. They have the Vegas suite of video software is now Magix software. So it's kind of neat to see Magix taking it and actually trying to. Now the interface of Acid still looks like it's from the 20s, but the 1920s. You have to specify now. You can't just say 20s. But I will say one thing is, and for anyone who's ever done mastering work or work in the music business, so the industry standard Red Book CD authoring tool was a tool by Sony, and it was old as hell, and it was called CD Architect.
Oh, yeah.
And
wow.
It was like CD Architect 5.4, and still to this day, it is the preferred tool for CD authoring. Now, Magix got all their assets, but has not continued to support CD. They haven't updated it. They don't even sell it. It's not even listed on their site. But if you go on Sweetwater's site, it actually says Magix. You can get old CD Architect 5.4 licenses. Magix CD Architect, which isn't technically true because it's not even on their website. And I'm like, okay. Like that was probably one of their most profitable softwares. Every mastering engineer used that for the most part. There's only one thing for mastering that it couldn't do, which is making DDP files. Everything else, it was perfect. So I don't know what they're planning on doing.
CDs?
Well, I mean, if you're having CDs manufactured
Yeah.
which a lot of people still are.
Yeah,
you
guess so.
You do two things. One, you send a DDP file to the manufacturer, or two, you send an actual a CDR with the master on it, and they'll duplicate that. Which again, a lot of people, it's less now, but a lot of people are still doing it.
Like I can't even play a CD in my house.
Honestly, at this point, it's more merch. Like, people aren't buying CDs anymore to consume the CD. They're buying CDs
you get
to
the
support.
free download with it. Yeah, you
Exactly.
get the audio.
Yeah. So
Like,
people are buying it more for the artwork and for the tangible, merch than anything.
I still have a Metallica the Hardwired Self-Destruct album on CD because I bought the vinyl. And the vinyl came with the CD, and the CD came with the MP3 download, and actually you got a FLAC download with it. I don't think I could play a CD. Maybe on my Xbox.
Yeah, or if you have a Blu-ray player or something.
No, I don't even have a Blu-ray player because I don't watch Blu-rays. I don't like.
I'm trying to think of all the devices in my suite here that I have an actual CD. A 5-disc changer, so that obviously. I have my tower has 2 CD drives in it. So obviously.
Well, that's because your tower is how old? Optical drives. Nobody puts them in
honestly,
computers.
if you're in the music business and you don't have a CD drive, you're an idiot.
That's
for multiple reasons, either to actually get PCM versions of songs, which you can't get off Spotify or iTunes, or to burn CDs to send to a mixing engineer or mastering engineer, not a mixing engineer. But so, yeah, my tower it doesn't need to have CD drives in it. It does out of necessity. Now, those 5.25-inch bays could be used for several other useful things, like a fan speed controller. That would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, when I was putting my computer together in 2018, that's the one thing they asked me at Canada Computers. They're like, well, what do you want, any 5.25s? I'm like, well, no. How much is a CD?
It's getting harder to find. It's getting harder to find good. Again, the case that my system is in is actually a pretty recent case. I think the oldest component in the system is the motherboard and the CPU. Everything else is within the last 5 years or so.
Did you upgrade your graphics card anytime recently? No. Okay.
No, actually, okay. So that's not the graphics card. The graphics card is probably 15 years old.
Yeah, let's be honest about that. That's
actually, no, the graphics card is probably about exactly 15 years old almost. And it's starting to get flaky on me. I had some weird shit going on the last couple of weeks with it, and I think it's overclocked also, and it's not supposed to be overclocked, so that's not helping.
That doesn't help. Yeah, no, I just replace Memory Express, dude. Go get yourself the 3060, which is
but I don't need a power supply. I've got a 1600 watt Corsair. I don't need a power supply.
What do you mean a power supply?
You say you have to get a power supply
with it?
Top
of the line, you don't need to get a top of the line graphics card right now, man.
No, a 3060 would be more than okay.
You upgraded to a 3060, that would be like 300 times more powerful. And the NVENC encoder is phenomenal.
The issue that I was having, and I don't know, maybe some graphics cards enthusiasts could maybe explain why this is, but every once in a while, and it's been happening over the last few years, it's periodic, it's not a regular occurrence, but I will have this thing that will happen, and specifically it seems to happen when I'm using Pro Tools or Photoshop, where it will just, like the screen will flash and then it'll spit out an OpenGL error message.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then usually Photoshop will crash or Pro Tools will crash because the graphics driver just went.
Well, that's probably an unsupported graphics driver.
And then I have to restart, and sometimes if I restart, it'll post and I'll get a visual, but it won't go into the OS, and I'll have to turn off my system, let it cool down for like 20 minutes, and then turn it back on, and it works fine. So I have no idea what's going on. Something's screwy.
You need a graphics card, man. Although the worst part about that is depending on how old your system is. Are you on a 32-bit or 64-bit?
64-bit. My motherboard might be old, but it's a workstation class motherboard.
Okay, so you're okay there.
Yeah, it's got PCI Rev 3 on. So
Gen 3?
PCI X, yeah.
Gen 3, yeah, Gen 3's fine. No video card can max that out, so you're okay there. Wow, we just lost a bunch of viewers talking PCs again, eh? It's amazing how quickly that happens. Like, people are just like, screw this.
Probably we should... Sometimes you should put out a video, just like not a live, but like an actual video, and just do a little experiment and just see if it does worse than the thumbnail video.
Well, you know what? I did the M1 video, and that didn't do horribly. But
you probably spun it for audio, though, didn't you?
No, well, kind of, but it's the M1 app as a creator, as a content creator. Midnight Wolf says my truck came with a 6-disc in-dash changer. I couldn't tell you if it even works. If you can
as long as it has Bluetooth and AUX, that's all you need.
Yeah. If you can update the graphics card BIOS, try that. You know what? I don't know about your graphics card. The last BIOS that was probably released for your graphics card was probably 7 years ago.
Yep.
If it's
More
15 years
and
old.
that's being pretty liberal, I think.
Well, no, they support graphics card support lasts quite a while. Like NVIDIA just dropped.
It's not getting to the point where it's drastically impeding my workflow.
Well,
it's just one of those small nuisances that maybe happens once every 3 months.
So you're an NVIDIA card, right?
Yeah.
So,
EV. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
EVGA. But
well, yeah, but that's
chips.
NVIDIA.
NVIDIA chipset. Yeah.
Okay. So NVIDIA is just dropping right now the 980 Ti. They're dropping all driver support for it. So once that happens, is you would top out on your driver, and that's that. So 980 Ti was 2014.
And this is 2006.
Yeah. So I mean, the driver support does eventually go down. It does go away.
Man, I gotta say though, that graphics card, man, we've been through some shit together. I got that graphics card in high school from a buddy a year after it came out for $20.
So somebody's saying, why is slow mode on? Dimebag Darren, what's slow mode? Is it for chat?
Maybe turn the YouTube speed back to normal.
Well, slow. I mean,
isn't that
between chats.
isn't that user control? And like is he talking about playback speed or is he talking about like the actual like latency?
Hello, or maybe we're just dumb and slow. I mean, that's slow possible. Mode's on. Yeah, I don't know what do you mean by slow mode, Dimebag, on the chat? Yeah, there's a 12-second lag I put in there just so I don't get.
It's the cuss lag.
Here, let me do a 5-second.
It's the
lag.
sensor. It's the sensor lag.
There. Now that's
Programmed.
a 5-second lag on chat. That's all. I've always had a 12-second lag, so.
I wonder if there's any like live like video YouTube streaming software. There's probably a lot of paid ones, but that actually have program delay features built in for like censorship. That'd be kind of
neat. Probably. There's 7 of it. Oh, there you go. 7. Hey man, how's everyone doing? I got something, so let me just move this over. The Isovox is all set up. Dylan can't see it.
I will shortly.
Let me just spin this without dropping it.
Don't drop it.
This thing is massive.
Yeah.
Watch for it to spin.
Are you gonna stick your head inside it so you can see how dorky it looks with your shoulders sticking out?
Not yet. That's for the video. Not yet.
I like the curve though. The curves are sexy there. The shoulder curves.
The shoulder curves. Yeah, those are nice. Those keep you in. I got her all set up. It took me like probably 5 minutes to put it together, which is impressive.
I'm gonna from here on in, I'm gonna be calling it the ISO box because it makes you sound really boxy.
Yeah, this is the Isovox 2. Well, it doesn't sound like, and here's the issue with it. My camera's kind of wonky. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's why I don't try to do that.
The problem with this is pretty simple, and it's because you want Kaspersky. Oh, go away. That, by the way, Dimebag is no, this is the high-end chaotic eyeball. This is the big kind of Isovox 2 in a box. Put your head in it, and I got to say, you put your head in there, you can't hear anything. I had my wife get under there and actually talking to the mic. I could barely hear her. And I was standing just on the other side. Like, the level of control on this thing is ridiculous.
So it's got the STC part. Now the absorption part.
Now, granted, if you have it pointed at, like you can see right on my back wall by my cat bed, there's a vent back there. If you have it pointed at a vent, you're going to hear the vent, but you turn it away and it's gone.
Yeah, you still position it, following standard, rules of thumb. But I will say this, in the clip that you sent me, I couldn't hear any reflections.
No.
Now, there's no processing, and Facebook doesn't let me download audio, so I couldn't actually run it through some stuff to hear, because typically a lot of reflections, especially on like what mic did you have? The ISO mic, obviously.
Yeah, that was the ISO mic I sent you.
Which is a condenser apparently with a built-in preamp.
Well, it would seem so. I've never actually run into this where you don't actually have to turn your mic or your gain up.
Now, most condenser microphones do have built-in preamp circuitry to some degree. It's just very rare that you don't have to gain them externally at all. Like even a tube mic, which has a preamp the size of my head that is plugged into, still needs to be gained a little bit by its sort of receiving.
And
circuitry.
I was surprised because my gain was at 0, and I got perfect levels.
So a question I have: is there a pad on the mic?
No, there's nothing.
Okay, so you're not using this mic for anything more than voice, obviously.
No.
Because
singing,
trying to use it, well, even singing,
yes,
like you're gonna rip the head off that thing.
No, apparently not. As long as you don't gain it up. This is what he said. Okay, so like he said, you can scream into it. It will not peak.
You better test that.
I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be working with you prior to shooting the video, and I'll get to the comments in a second. Prior to shooting the video, I'm actually gonna be sending you some stuff and like seeing what you think. Like you notice that they're claiming this is the EQ-less mic. Like you don't need to EQ, you voice and go. And for
judging from the boxiness, I disagree. But
here's the problem. I wasn't close enough to the microphone, and here's the thing with the unit is you can kind of hear your voice fluttering around in there. You can hear the lower part of your voice fluttering around, which gives it more of a depth sound to it. So I'm going to be curious. I want to get my hand on a C414 just to see how it reacts in the box as a comparable price-wise.
Or put your NT2A in there and see what that's like.
Yeah. I'm going to, and I'm actually really looking forward to that. But you've got to get close enough to the mic.
Yeah, of course.
Or if you're too far away, that boxiness overtakes you.
You got to check the proximity effect as well.
But you have those pop screen placed far enough away from the mic, so the pop screen only goes to a certain point. So you have control of that.
Now, the pop screen comes with the box or no?
It comes with but didn't you see my unboxing, you bastard? Okay.
No.
The whole mic setup,
I saw your pictures that you sent me, but I didn't watch
the whole
video.
mic setup is they call it a cloud mount where it sits on a rubber grommet. And it has its own pop, and it's like the pop filter on this is a beast. Like it's probably about 3/4 of an inch thick.
Now, see that worries me because really thick pop, like having foam pop filters instead of mesh pop filters, usually absorb a lot of high frequency shit.
Well, like I said though, this is supposed to be the EQ-less, so I haven't done any proper because I don't have it on me. Damn it, where'd it go? So where the pop filter is supposed to slide onto the cloud mount, it's all kind of aluminum, all worked aluminum. It's all cut out on a CNC machine. Wasn't cut quite wide enough for the pop filter to slide on. So I have some being sent from Sweden. Yeah, he said he's okay. We'll take care of that. He's like sending you another one. So that's on the way. So I can't actually get the experience yet. So I can't put it on and like do a perfect dry run with this thing. All I could do was what I sent you, and I wasn't sure how far I was away from the mic, if it was good. I know I was probably about 9 inches away from the mic when I did that.
Okay. Well, then that might be not that bad because you're getting a lot of the early reflections just from the foam
from
itself.
The box. And the fun thing about this box is the reflections aren't any of the higher frequencies. They're all in the mids and lows.
It's the mid-low crap, yeah. Which you can again, a little bit of EQing could fix that because it's not like the box is right beside you. It's not like there's a massive time delay that you have to deal with and phasing issues for the most part.
No, it's pretty good. All right, really quick here. Let's go through some of the
comments.
CF Wheezy, happy Friday, brother. Dimebag still might be poo. No, it's not poo. Damn it, I'm late again. Can you start over, Ken? Sorry, man. You know what? Maybe we'll just start later.
Yeah, we script this entire thing. Let's just go back to page 1 and we'll start back from it.
Dimebag says EQ-less Neumann hasn't managed it, but these guys, let's hear it. You know what? And here's the thing.
Wait, who said that? Who said that?
That was Dimebag Darren. But before anybody,
Dimebag Darren, I agree. I this is what I will say very candidly. These guys have some bold claims about their mic. Wait, nobody is talking about it.
Wait.
So I'll believe it when I see it.
Do you know who makes the microphone?
Well, the company that makes it.
Yes. So before anyone starts shitting on Isomic, Isomic isn't made by Isovox. Isomic is made by Erland.
Okay.
Erland is a high-end microphone. Look it up at EHR.
I know Erland.
LUND. Yeah, that's who makes this microphone. They use
Yeah,
all.
but again, so I'm not talking about, like, people are talking about Erland, but nobody's talking about the ISO mic. Generally, I gauge a microphone's value based on how much are people looking for it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
People aren't looking for it.
Well, how much are people looking for Erland microphones?
Well,
And that's the thing, right?
Not Erland specifically, but some of the brands that Erland services,
Yeah.
people are looking for those things.
Now, Erland makes this, and they used, with this microphone, Isomic actually is all their technology. Nothing on this is technology made by Isomic or Isovox.
Oh yeah, they've licensed it from Erland.
They
Essentially,
licensed their €1,675 microphone, the EHR-M, and it's basically the exact same thing.
except
so
like a
it's-
lot more expensive.
So when they're actually telling you what the specs are, they're not bragging about their specs. They're bragging about Erland's specs. Because when you look at the EHR-M, it's got the exact same thing. Frequency range, 7 to 87 kilohertz.
Which is useless.
Yeah, sensitivity at 1 kilohertz is neg 33 dBV per Pascal.
I mean, like, I know Erland microphones are used in a lot of SPL meters.
Yep.
Because of their accuracy.
Dynamic range of 115 dB. It's signal to noise ratio of 87 dBA. Like everything on it looks perfect. Like there's no issues with this whatsoever. So the reason I say hold judgment is this isn't Isovox saying, "Oh, this mic is amazing." They just licensed out, got this, and said, "Here's the ISO mic." So.
But still, so how old? So in your meetings and chats with them, did they mention when this product launched?
Oh, just like a couple years back, max.
Okay.
So there's no like this is very
so it's really a promotion problem. It seems, assuming the quality matches up with.
You see,
the
and here's the
claims.
thing. According to them, the Isomic was created to be used with the Isovox 2. That's what they're saying. It was. So I don't know if anyone's going to drop their Neumann for an Isomic. I don't know.
Especially people that already have treated spaces, like
Right.
that don't want an
And-
Isovox
And
too.
that's the other thing. Like it's one of those things that I think the Isomic was the way to break in with the Isovox by offering a microphone. And here's the other reason the Isomic exists, by the way. One of the biggest problems with the Isovox was that you couldn't get bigger mics into the box. So you can't put a shotgun mic in there. You just can't. There's not enough
Oh
room.
yeah, you'd be ripping your head off.
So they got the ISO mic in order to actually fit and have a reasonable microphone that can work within the box. So this is everything that's been given to me. I can't test it yet, but I'm going to go through extensive testing on it. Like I'm going to test everything. One of the biggest things that fascinates me is the level of sound degradation when you're on either side of the box. When you jump into that box, you lose the world. It's like you can't hear anything else.
Which is good. That's its job.
But it
It
also
was part of its job.
It messes with your head when you're listening to your own voice then because
Oh yeah, it's like being in an anechoic chamber, which is equally as like you can like hear your own heartbeat practically.
yeah, and it's just the depth of your voice is different, all this stuff. So
Yeah.
like it's that's what I'm fascinated by the most, the fact that you can have like a voiceover quality booth that not only blocks outside noise but stops transference of all the reverberations. That's cool. Now, whether or not it meets all the standards, we'll see. I'll take
Well,
it through.
so it's got its microphone spec goes up to 87K. So, what maximum sample rate can your Arturia thing go up to?
196
192.
or 192, sorry. Yeah.
It's either 96 or 192.
No, I was sorry, 192.
Okay, so what you should do is bust open an Adobe session, an audition session at 192K,
Give me a
24-bit.
It's
And-
been a long time since I ever even
and-
touched the sample rate, buddy.
Run the mic going into that Arturia unit and just jingle some keys
Yeah.
in front of the microphone and then record it and pull up the spectrogram.
Yeah.
And let's see in a real world scenario, how accurately
Okay.
the preamps in a relatively decent unit
Yeah.
can go above 20K.
Oh, relatively decent. Yeah, like this is. I mean.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good real. Like a Scarlet might be a very different situation, but like with an Arturia, which is a mid-range expensive kind of interface, like $1,000, $1,200 interface.
It's top prosumer is what they consider it.
Yeah, well, I still think a lot of professionals, like a lot of creators, probably would use it. You know, I put it in the same kind of realm as like a lot of the Apollo stuff from UA.
Yeah.
But recording and then again pulling up the spectrogram, because if you jingle some keys and you see all of the harmonics of the key, I say keys jingling because they generate a lot of really high harmonics.
Okay.
So if you can look in there and you see a really like an unnatural tapering above 20K because the Arturia just can't handle stuff above 20 or 22 or 25 kilohertz, 87, not that useful. Now, if you had a frequency generator that could generate 87 kilohertz and a loudspeaker that could do that, I would suggest do that, but nobody has that.
Nothing has that, and that's the thing. So we'll see.
What you have to use an acoustic.
I'll be impressed if it goes to 30 kilohertz.
Yeah.
And that's where, because, I mean, frankly, anything out of 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, outside of that, no one can hear. Most people can't hear 20 to 20.
No one can hear, but they have proven there is certain retention in the brain. We don't acknowledge it, but there's a basically.
Yeah, it's your body knows something's weird. Like when you feel a really loud 7 hertz.
Yeah.
I mean, probably feel that in your chest.
The whatchamacallit, I was going to say, like having a higher sample rate, for example, the benefit isn't so much that it can reproduce higher frequencies. It's that it more accurately reproduces the lower frequency.
Really quick, let's. Midnight says on my end, the 420 sounded better last week than the IsoVox this week. This is the 420 you're still listening to, FYI. Wow, Dylan's audio and video sync is off a bit. Yeah, that's whenever he goes with his setup that he's on right now. Whenever you see him on the 20, it's going to be off a little sync.
Because there's when I'm using the SM7 or any other mic and I'm running through Pro Tools, I can impose a delay because the video is delayed. CleanFeed has much faster audio than Discord does video.
So Dimebag says, is it like $3,000? No. We're talking Canadian funds. The IsoVox, I think, is 12. And the microphone Canadian, I think, comes at $17.99. Now, for American, the IsoVox goes for $1,000, just under $1,000, and the microphone goes for $12. So there's a big difference. And here's the thing: Dimebag brought something up that I kind of want to address before anything else. And a lot of people get on this about the cost of it. Well, the cost is too much. Well, here's your problem: for people that do voiceover, your options for a completely dead environment are wild amounts of acoustic treatment on your walls. Okay, because you're talking about sound in, sound out. Sound in is the big one. You could set up a blanket tent all you want, but if you can't block the sound of a kettle in the next room, you're fucked. You can't do it.
Or just don't run the kettle. Don't record during tea time.
But the people that live in apartments do voiceover still, right?
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Or you can go out and you can get a $7,000 Studio Bricks. And sure, that's great, but not everyone can have a Studio Bricks in their apartment.
I mean, that's not totally true. There are acoustic treatment packages for like $1,000 that you can buy if you have a closet and you can put up panels. That will be not as expensive.
If you're willing to do a closet. But even those treatments are like an $800 package for treatment.
Plus, if you are in an apartment, you're not going to be making those giant holes in the walls for cleats.
May I remind you, this is still $1,000 treatment, not regardless of the mic, because if you do that with your closet, you still got to go buy your mic. So without the ISO mic, you're still only looking at $1,000 for this. And while that is like, well, shit, that's stupid. Who would pay that? A lot of people who need the simple setup of just a box to stick your head in and read. And I know there's a lot of people that might not have a spare closet to be able to set up, because once again, where are you putting everything that was in the closet? You have a 1-bedroom apartment.
Well, see, in my case, I specifically got this apartment because it had a master bedroom that was huge with a walk-in closet. So but if you're, getting in a VO and you already have a place, or you're, bought a condo, in which case you're screwed, you don't have that luxury. But I will say, I think, so let's go back to the prices. So you're saying the price of the box by itself is
$900 US. $9.99, $9 or $9.99. It could be $900.
So $1,000. What's the round to
let's-
$1,000?
$1,000.
So, and then the price of the mic by itself, or can you buy the mic by
$1,200.
itself? And then
Yeah.
the price of both together is $1,700.
No, it's
Can you buy them as a kit, the package? Theoretically.
you don't get any money off for it.
Why the hell would you want it? You get a really good mic. So $2,000 for both things together. So I don't know, $1,000 for that. I mean, an acoustic treatment package for a small to mid-sized room is about the same.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and this is portable.
Yep.
To a degree.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the other thing where I was like, because I was really betting on the portable, right? I was like, okay, well, this thing better have, portability up the ass. I wouldn't want to take it with me anywhere.
Well, especially because it needs to come in some kind of flight
Yeah.
case if you're going to use it.
I wouldn't want to take this on a flight. Let's just put it that way. This is a full suitcase itself. However, if you're jumping in your car and going across the U.S. or something, and you need something for hotel rooms instead of doing blanket forts, no, dude, it's fantastic.
Is there a lot of rigidity to the panels,
No,
or are they flexible?
they're flexible.
Okay, which is what you would expect. Just
Yeah,
making sure.
there's
so,
two panels. The bottom one is rigid.
So theoretically, they could, if you had some kind of strong rigid, you could compress them down.
Oh yeah,
to
they could be compressed.
Yeah, or if you were really fancy, you could I don't know, vacuum seal them. Or
Yeah,
really squeeze them. Well, how did they get there? How did when
they came in
it
the
arrived?
box that's right behind me. You can see it. It says Isovox 2 on it. I know you can't see it, so it's literally in the video. If you look
Okay, yeah.
yeah, there's a nice,
that
yeah.
box doesn't look massive.
No,
I mean,
but then if you look at the Isovox, it's got the big legs.
was the mic in there too?
Yes.
Okay.
No. The mic was separate. Sorry.
Okay.
Mic was separate. So, do harmonics like that? Okay, let's move back a little bit. Okay, so the price, basically, when it comes to the price of this thing, it's actually a justifiable price for somebody that's making money on their voice.
Yep.
If you're making money on your voice, if you're doing voiceover, let's say I become the market voice or the station voice for stations all across the U.S. for ABC or whatever, CBS radio.
Yep.
That's what they do. Yes, it would justify buying one of these things if I didn't want to put a studio.
Yeah, again, if you make money doing something as a business, the amount of money that you will find that you are spending on shit is compared to as a hobbyist.
It's
ridiculous.
brutal. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You would the price of a industry standard compressor, an EL8 distressor by Empirical Labs, which will cost you $3,000 for one channel of a compressor that doesn't even have a gate or anything else. It's just a compressor. That's the business.
The thing, right? And that's nobody is being targeted by this thing that is a podcaster. No one as a podcaster would buy this.
No.
Because there's no return on investment. No. If you're a voiceover artist and you're noticing, even in my studio, it's still active, and I shoot YouTube videos in here, but you can still hear a bit of the room in the videos. So if I wanted to become pro voiceover, I would need something like this if I needed a completely dry sound. And yes, the boxiness can be taken out by your producer, and here's the joy of that. If you are a professional voiceover talent, you have a producer that does that for you, or the company has a professional producer that does it for you. Dylan is one of those people. So, yeah. Anyways, the price, whether you like it or not, is kind of worth it.
Yeah, the price doesn't make. Again, I've spent 3 times that on a mic and not bat an eyelash. And that's not flexing. That's just when you are a business. These are the things that you do.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, so but as a hobbyist, do you need the ISO mic? No, you don't.
No,
don't buy it.
And I understand the position of the ISO mic in the market. I understand what it's for. It's a small mic. It's a high-end mic that fits in this thing, and it's fucking beautiful. The ISO mic is gorgeous. However, do you need it for this? No. You can run this with an NT2A, and it should sound just as good. I wouldn't run it with a Behringer, but that's...
Well, that's the thing is your chain is only as strong as its weakest link, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, if you're going to invest that much into a mic, you're going to invest that much into the rest of the situation.
All right, Wilf Clegg, we're way behind. Says, I like Behringer mics. Sorry, buddy. 3 for $40. Yeah, Amazon. How can you compete with that?
Yeah, priced. Well, the value, right? It's the value proposition. I mean, you're getting a microphone for.
Yeah, if you need a mic. And,
Yes.
Yeah, they're great.
And yeah.
Hint of Shrimp. Hey, guys. Hey, Hint of Shrimp. Dimebag, Darren Lowe. 3/4 of this of an SM58 for $30 is awesome on the Behringer. Yeah, it's not 3/4 of an SM58, though. I don't think so. It is
Quality-wise, nah.
Nah. My band worked for months on. Okay, so they're basically talking over. My band worked months on a cover, put it out a week ago, 6 likes. I put out a cover last night. I didn't even care about it. Got 9 likes overnight. Yeah, that's
Nice.
usually the way it goes. Bangs is back. Bangs went on holidays, I think. Do harmonics like that matter for a human voice? Now we're talking the 7
No,
to 87K.
no. We're just talking about it in the sense of testing it out. Does the human larynx have the ability to create harmonics up? I mean, it might. I've never tested it.
That'd be
I
interesting.
would doubt it because there's so much absorptive membrane material down there that generating
Well, it's also,
that.
there's no need, and our bodies have developed for what we need, right? Like that's
No, generally, there are animals that can generate frequencies up in that general area, but that's certainly not us. I don't
at
think.
87 kilohertz.
I don't
What
think.
animal can recreate a sound at 87 kilohertz?
There are certain breeds of fish that
Really?
emanate electromagnetic waves as a means of communication.
Oh.
Communication.
That's cool. I just learned something new. Dimebag, I'm Canadian. Oh, hey Dimebag. Sorry, I lose track of what.
I think
Canadians are in our
I
group.
think you mentioned that. Yeah, last time.
So $3,000, I can look into a whisper room, but the whisper room doesn't come with the mic, buddy, and that's the point of this contraption. Is the microphone is the expensive part. Like if you're just going to buy the Isovox, it's only $1,200. That's a massive difference from the $7,000 for a whisper room. It just like it blows me away the difference. And if you need a whisper room and you have the room for it, that's the other thing about this. A whisper room is minimum going to be 5x5 minimum. You're not going to get a 4x4 box or a 2x2 box. This thing is 2x2. So if you don't have the room for something like a whisper room, or you don't have a closet, once again, only $1,200. Voila. So when costs come up, I point out that Elwood was completely fine selling the Bluesmobile for a new mic. God, that's so true, right? And he ended up with a
Throwback.
Shure SH55SH, didn't he? He had
or
the,
or some or a lookalike at least.
yeah, I think it
We
was
don't
the
know.
Shure mic. It's the darn lawnmower at the neighbors. Oh yeah, the lawnmower at the neighbors. And that's the thing. Like this thing's going to get rid of a lot of frequencies. It's not going to be perfect though, because you're not a whisper room. And there's your trade-off. That's the difference between this and a whisper room. It's got an open bottom.
Yeah. Mind you, your big old meat bag is in the bottom there, so you'll absorb a
true.
lot of crap.
You will, and you're standing in front of the mic. And honestly,
Unless you're wearing like chainmail or something.
Why are these two channels called Hint of Shrimp? Why are there two channels called Hint of Shrimp? That's
I
a
only
good
see
question.
one. Is there two?
Ooh, what you drinking, Aiden? I'm sipping a vanilla porter right now. I'm doing Belgian Moon. That's my go-to, especially during the summer, because it tastes like juice.
It's like use.
I do like the floating shock mount, and I wish I could buy one separately. I can see if I can get one. Although they ship them from Sweden, but they probably don't want to be shipping a bunch down. Ask for a replacement. Say you bought one and just need a replacement. They're really, I gotta say, the company Isovox themselves have been fantastic, easy to work with. And then Bangs Naughty Breaks, Behringer bought Aston. Aston Microphones goes to Behringer.
It doesn't surprise me. Behringer is a massive company, even though half their products are in the consumer realm. They are a massive company.
I completely forgot the King Bee. One second.
Is that like the worker bee, except not?
Well, the King Bee. So the Neat Mike's worker bee, the top of their line was the King Bee.
Mm-hmm.
And they've released King Bee number 2, and I guess they realized that they didn't want it to look like a clown. So it now is actually rather sleek, right? You're done with the black and yellow stripes? Thank
Oh my
God.
God. Thank you.
They
Thank you.
they
They
made-
listened. They fucking listened.
They made the mic the shape of a bee, though. So it tapers down to the bottom. It's kind of
okay.
funky. It looks good, but it's all black. Big deal.
Okay.
Big
Yeah.
deal. I reserve my opinion until I hear it. I want to hear it with expensive and cheap mics. I will not be doing it with cheap mics because I'm sorry. And this is where I do kind of like, if you have a booth like this, there's no reason I'm going to be running. Like, I will probably throw the 420 in there, the P420. But even that's at the point where it's like, if you have $1,000 booth over your head, why are you running with a P120? Like, I kind of want to do mostly just the C414 to see how it reacts with that. And this is because the target person that's going to be using this booth isn't going to be using a sub $500 microphone. It's
Probably
just,
not.
and
If you
that's-
are, you
well,
need to reevaluate your cost priorities.
But and that's the thing. Why are you running a sub $500 microphone in a booth or a headset, I guess maybe you could call this?
Wouldn't that be okay? I got to address Ken's comment here. Wouldn't it be so cool if they actually gave you like local, like supporting local beekeepers or something? If they like
That would
actually
be
gave you
cool.
honey, that would be kind of neat. Like,
Yeah.
if I was on their marketing team, I would totally do that. That's so cool.
87 kilohertz bats. Yep. I think the Guinness Book has a record of a human voice reaching 17 kilohertz. Oh, wow. Okay.
Which is
That
quite high. I mean,
that
we
is
definitely
ridiculous.
we have harmonics that go up there. Absolutely, I can vouch. I've seen them on spectrograms.
Dimebag, NT2A will go in there. That's going to be the one that will be kind of my bottom line. I might try the P420, but it's probably going to be the NT2A. Sorry, you were saying about the max human, the harmonics of a voice. Do you think they go above 17 kilohertz?
Very negligible. Again, there is a certain logarithmic tapering to the harmonics. There may be some after there, but they're just so quiet that they're barely, they're not adding much.
So how much do you rely on the website? You know, you go to the website to hear all the frequencies and hear which ones you can hear. How much do you rely on that to actually be reproducing that properly? Because I can get up to 16 kilohertz that I can hear, but when I pass 16, it goes away. But I don't know if that's because headphones, speakers.
Well,
aren't
again,
reproducing it.
the only people generally that have all the way up to 20 kilohertz are superhumans and babies. Yeah. Generally, once you've hit the age of like 10, you're down to already like 18. Most people are down to like 16. It's just wear and tear.
When I was 32, I had my hearing tested. I was at 18 still. At 32.
Yeah, I'm at like 19 or 20 at the moment.
Wow.
Excluding, but that's for other things. That's for other reasons.
Okay, fair enough.
That's for I have a somewhat large temporal lobe. I've found out.
I'm gonna build a box to stick my head in. Yeah, no, you should try that.
Do it.
Honestly, like a lot of people were like, well, you could just build it up with like some Auralex. The difference between Auralex and this thing blocks outside sound, and that is
Yeah, it has an SDC component to it.
Yes, and
as well as absorption.
that is the big thing that a lot of people don't realize about this. It's not just making sure you don't have room reflections. This is actually blocking out the sound of the person beside you.
Well, I mean, if its job is to eliminate room reflections, then it's absorbing the sound coming off the walls. So of course it's gonna to a degree. Now, if you have a hermetic air compressor next to you, it's probably not going to help that much.
No, and that's what I'm going to do, because I'm going to take it up to the kitchen. My most reflective room is our kitchen, because we have like a 19-foot, excuse me, beer's hitting me, a 17 or 18-foot stone countertop that's super reflective, like wildly reflective. So we're going to use it in there. The King was an NT1 competitor originally. I never played with the King. The King B, I always wanted to, but they were sold out by the time I could. Branding is important. Embrace a B. I'm a little worried about the new King B because they lowered the price on this new one.
So I have a question. So knowing, a very novice amount about bee anatomy, I know where the worker bee lives in the hierarchy of bee culture. Where is the king bee? I have not heard of the
king bee. Is there?
I don't think there is. I've never heard of one. If somebody has, please let us know.
There is a queen bee.
Exactly. Why wouldn't you call it the queen bee?
Because they're sexist, okay?
I mean, I was kind of going there in my head. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I didn't want to be that guy, but like, really?
Yeah, free honey would be great. The sound of the bee is honey. Yeah, the bee does, the worker bee sounds fantastic. If the king bee can come anywhere near or a little bit better than the worker bee, I'm gonna be blown away. For the
And at
price
least
of
it looks better. Which,
yeah, and that's the reason it hasn't been on my dock yet.
Is it a king is a species? Oh,
Oh, the
King
king
bee.
bee is this species. Well, that's
interesting.
Cool. I'm barely 13 kilohertz bangs. Oh, dude, what have you done?
Metal. It's all metal.
Yeah, like standing right beside the woofer with your
So-
ear up against it.
Oh, it's his 200-watt Marshall stack that he's got every day.
How many layers are in the wall? Actually, I don't have to cut it in half. You can unzip it and you can actually clean the covers. And it's not a matter of layers. This up here, I'll turn it back towards, and actually, here, let me do this. So you can see this is rather thick layered, and in the back, it's got like, it would be about 7 layers behind. So from behind the microphone, you have the most absorption right behind it, which, and it's like a white, it's very, very absorbent. Let's just put it that way. I haven't tested the material to figure out exactly what it is. So I'm going to actually get all of that material for the video because I really want to know as well.
As has been the case with other historical perceptions about bees, the king bee turned out to be a queen. I was just fact checking because I was curious. So apparently there is a species of bee in like that. It is called something in Indonesian. It's called, I'm not going to try and pronounce
Do
that.
Do it!
Ofurotu ofu.
about
Which loosely translates to king/queen of the bees in Indonesian, but it's really just a species of very big bee that isn't officially called king bee.
Gigantic fucking bee.
Apparently, they're huge. Like, and I'm assuming they're a thing in Indonesia. I don't want to see them though.
I don't want to go to Indonesia anymore.
Oh my god, they have a picture of one beside a rat. It's bigger than the rat. What the fuck?
King is okay. All the worker bees take good care of the queen. What would you say it's made of? Well, material. And faux leather on the outside is a faux leather.
See,
yeah.
faux leather has some reflectivity to it, so I would just have left it
No,
as
it's
some
on
kind
the
of fabric.
outside. It's on the outside.
But still, it's gonna hit that layer on the ins when the sound's going through and then coming back. Well, I guess coming back it's not a problem because it bounces
yeah,
off.
because you
But
want it bounced off from outside.
Yeah, but they would, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm actually really looking forward to trying it out. I'm not going to actually take it apart to find out what the material is on the inside.
How, like, if you feel it, how dense is the foam?
Oh, it's
like, are we talking?
fucking dense.
Okay, so we're not talking like sponge. We're talking like actual, like,
Yeah,
like
it's
Oralex style foam.
more than that. Worse than Oralex. Like it's just dense as hell.
Is it heavy?
Yes, this thing weighs probably about 60 pounds.
Good, but the inside is matte. Like there's nothing particularly reflective.
Nothing.
On the inside. Okay.
They have one little thing where it says Isovox in there. It's a little plastic little.
I have a lot
logo.
more faith in the value of the Isovox. Like that, I would actually invest in. The mic, I wouldn't, but that I
Well,
would.
I mean, we'll find out what the mic can do, and that's the one thing. This isn't something that the ISO when they branded it their own. I think that was the biggest problem because when they branded it as their own, they took someone else's numbers and said, "Here you go. This is why it costs this much." I've never used an Erland mic.
Well,
I don't know anyone that does.
So I have, and again, they're usually in measurement mics a lot of the time. There are some applications where they're used for VO and stuff, mainly in a lot of European places.
They
you'll
have
find
a
them.
lot of friggin' mics in their lineup.
They do. They have a very large
ton.
assortment. But again, I think a lot of their money, a lot of their revenue comes from licensing. They do license a lot to other companies to integrate into their products.
Well, I mean, and why not? I mean, if you've got a good product.
So, but what you're saying, I think, in my opinion, has a lot of truth to it, is that branding is everything. Like when I look at a mic that's that expensive, that I've never heard of, that has specs like that, my first inclination is, well, ISO peeps, y'all have never made a mic. Why should I trust you? And then in the fine print, oh, it's not actually made by us. It's like,
well, it
okay,
actually says, if you turn the mic around, it says Erland right on it. Like
but you have to buy it to see that.
But they
Unless you see
say
a
on their
picture
website, they say made by Erland. Like
yeah, but you know how fast it takes me to make a purchase a fly no fly decision on a purchase like seconds. I'm not going to go on their website and look at it. I'm going to evaluate it based on like a small assortment of information that I've been presented with.
Yeah, but are you going to buy it based on what you just saw on the website and go? Like, probably.
No, I'll look up reviews, which there are not a lot.
And you know what? The reviews I've seen have been horrific. And I'm not making fun of any of the creators that have used it, but the one thing that blows my mind is line level gain without any gain on my added gain on my interface. Like, that blows my mind. The fact that you can't see that on their website. The fact that you turn on 48 volt Phantom and you have completely perfect levels, yet there is nothing about that on their website.
See, that scares me, because if I need it to be quieter, a lot of boards have built-in pads, which is great, but if you don't, you're kind of screwed.
According to this, you can go from a whisper to a scream without touching the gain. That is what they say.
That's a function of the preamp's dynamic range, not so much the microphone. Unless the microphone has some kind of built-in compression, which no thanks. I don't want any part of that.
But once again, we don't know, because we don't know what the original brand is from Erlen. So all of this has to come out in the wash. All of this has to be, and this is the thing, you can sit here and
God, it's causing me anxiety. Like, I want numbers now.
And that's the thing, you can sit here and speculate, but who the fuck knows until you actually put it on and try it out. And I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to go into this with a negative perception of the microphone, because, well, I've never heard of you. Who the fuck are you to say you can have a microphone that does that?
Inquired.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. It's not wooden, by the way.
I'm naturally a skeptic. When I see something that looks like bullshit, I just have to call it bullshit. I can't help myself.
But not everything will be bullshit.
No, but I mean, look at it like this. How long have companies been making microphones?
100 years.
Yeah, just about there. Maybe a little bit less than that.
A little less.
When has a company ever made a microphone that is unity gain with 0 preamp level?
I don't know.
Never. I have never, ever seen or used a microphone that has, and there's probably a reason for that.
Well, and when I sent you that audio,
that was probably at 0.
I didn't do anything. Oh, no. I couldn't record with it gained up at all.
The gain knob at like 7 o'clock. Like
my peaks are at neg 12. Those are my peaks, neg 12, with nothing. Like, you can look at it. Well, you couldn't download it, eh?
I couldn't download it to actually view it. I could just listen to it. So I was just trying to.
All the peaks were at neg 12.
Yeah,
like what?
That's healthy, but you're also talking normally.
Yeah. Well,
that's 12 decibels is not very good as headroom. Like, if you're doing screamo.
I was just talking normally, and I've got a 20 dB pad, but the problem with the 20 dB pad is now you're like, poof, stomp down. Now you're adding all the gain to it, and then what's the point of adding the pad and gaining up?
Well, you're adding the pad. Well, if you're recording what you were recording there, which is just normal voice, you don't pad it, obviously. But if you're recording more expressive, like, for example, I had to record a soccer announcer VO this week for a spot for Toronto, and I had to do like a goal kind of thing into the microphone, like just super guttural, like soccer announcer, color commentator kind of thing. With most microphones, I could not do that with my gain at anything less than like 9 o'clock because I'd clip right through the roof.
Oh yeah.
So I cannot wait to see the tests on this. I'm actually really excited.
So the output signal is strong and usually does not need much amplification. That's that's the EHR.M for Erland.
Mm.
So if a mic doesn't need much amplification, what does that tell you? Like, I don't understand. So if I were to put up, said dynamic range 150, max SPL peak 0.5, THD 116 dB, 1% THD 122 dB, connector materials, aircraft grade aluminum body. I'm going over the EHR-M. So this is like one of the Erland mics.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing tells you that it has It drives me nuts. Like, shouldn't the fact that it has line level audio coming out of it with zero gain kind of be mentioned somewhere? The output signal is strong and usually does not need much amplification. That's all I've got off their website.
Which is just very vague.
So, we'll
Again, the whole point of having a gain knob is that you adjust it.
well, I mean, then
That's
I'm
the
not
whole
adding,
point.
But then that's one of the reasons why they have under 7 dB of self noise, right? Because you don't have to add any gain to it, man.
No.
Like,
Well, that in that case, it's not self noise; it's preamp noise.
right?
That's
But
different.
the
That's a
thing. So-
different self noise.
But if I don't have to gain up my pre's, I'm not adding anything to the mic, so it's going to be super quiet, right? Because you're just running with the self noise of the mic.
I like Darren. It's the opposite of a 7B. That's accurate.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Oh, by the way, I am not my wife's king. In fact, my wife makes 3 times the amount that I do and supports the fact that I can have a YouTube channel. So I'll get her a beer if she needs one. What's Dylan drinking? Inquiring drunks want to know.
Well, it's done now. I got to go find another thing. I was drinking a Modern Mortgage Black Lager from the London Brewing Company. It's a local organic craft brew. It's quite good.
I gotta
like
go
it.
buy more beer. I ran out. Damn it. The
I'm
wife's
getting there.
gone for the weekend, by the way. So I'm doing nothing and playing video games, and this is fun because I was planning on working on this bloody video with the Isovox, but since
This is going to be the one video I'm going to be on your ass to finish because I'm like, I want to know.
well,
like,
I'm gonna be using you for a bit of it, but I also have to say, like, I can't do anything now because of that stupid pop filter. Like, I literally have to wait for it to come from Sweden. So I already booked a couple videos. Like, I've got a reacting video coming out on Monday, which I apologize if the whole reaction videos annoys you. But I did see something that Alpha Gaming did where he was reacting to other YouTubers' first videos, like tech YouTubers. So I'm like, you know what?
That's kind of a dick thing to do.
No,
I mean,
it's
like,
kind of fun. Like, he did Linus Tech Tips. He did all the, like, all
I mean,
the
as long as he's not too savage about it.
No,
like,
no. He was super awesome. He like, and there's the same thing. I said, okay, well, let's take a look at Tom Buck. Let's take a look at Booth Junkie. Booth Junkie's first video is the sweetest thing in the world. Dude didn't have lights. Somebody had to sell him some lights. Then you've got a Podcastage, and I forget who else I did one other in there. But yeah, I went through their videos, and it was actually kind of fun. It was kind of fun to just react to that first video. If you want to see a horrible first channel video, go watch mine. The lighting on it was pathetic. So
Oh,
yeah.
it's all good. My first channel video was a slideshow. It was pictures.
That's sad.
Yep.
Unless you're the premier and you can avoid no fly just because you feel like it and avoid the mandatory
Nice. Nice.
Nice. But that's why you listen to the show for the fly no fly. Nice.
But he wrote it with an E. Isn't premiere just with ER at the end?
I don't know.
I was
I'm
talking about a movie.
I'm not gonna bust him for spelling.
No, but unless he's talking about like a movie premiere. Unless he's talking about a movie.
Somebody here.
Sounds like there's a dog barking.
All right, hold the phone.
Hold the phone. We're holding the phone.
Hello.
Do. All right, let's go through these comments here. Wonder how Unity game would work with something with a high dynamic range. Not well. Again, I don't know. I go back to the fact that human voice is such a dynamic instrument. I mean, it's not really an instrument, but it's a very high, very dynamic source. It's rare, and we've talked about this before on the stream. It's rare that I would ever have to work with a voice without compressing it to some degree. Varying, but to some degree. Mike has a good output. Yeah, a good output. That's very subjective. What is a good output and what is a drastic output? I would argue that what the ISO mic outputs is pretty drastic. But again, we'll have to see. Maybe it has some built-in sort of compressing qualities. But that'll come out in the testing, I'm sure.
Dogs are just being dicks.
Nice. They do that.
Love Booth Junkie. Yeah, Booth Junkie's awesome. His first video, it starts out almost like a black screen with a silhouette of Mike Delgadio standing there. You're like, cool. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Unless, wonder how unity gain would work with something
Yeah,
with
we
high
went.
dynamic range. Okay, you
I,
did
I
that.
went through these while you were away. Yeah,
How far down did you go?
not very far. I went through like 2 comments. I got down to the SM. No, we already talked about the SM7B.
Yeah.
So at downbag 30 dB more than condensers. Yeah, that's about accurate.
Why are my dogs going nuts?
Dimebag Darren Low. He loves your wife, Aiden.
Oh, Dimebag loves my wife?
That's what it says. He wants to know if she has a sister.
She does, but yeah, probably
Taken?
not. She's in South Africa. Oh, I love your
Well-
wife. Just saying, does she have a sister?
There we go.
Her sister doesn't make as much money as her, though. That's the thing. Yeah. So you are just a happy drone until you get kicked out to die for the winter. No, I don't think she's going to kick me out. I do still make money. I just
Not
don't make-
anytime soon, anyway.
I don't make as much money as her. So, yeah, honestly, when it comes to the review of this, and one of the biggest things that you have to do when you go into a review is going in without any kind of feeling either way on the product. Like I walked into the worker bee.
I need a beer.
I did not want to do the review on the worker bee because I looked at the worker bee and I was like, oh, that's such garbage. Oh, it's going to be crap. And I was absolutely blown away. And I think if I'd given it a little bit more of a proper read on the microphone before just judging it for how stupid it looked, I would have probably had a more enjoyable experience. And I got to say, the Isovox, so far what I've done with it, I think like I would pay $1,000 for it by far. Just the simple fact that you can have something like that in the corner of your room that you can record VO for TV or whatever you need, right? I think that's something that's worth it. So what are you drinking the same thing, man?
Oh, no, I'm pulling out the hibiscus hat and Hascap sour.
Oh, hibiscus?
Yep.
Gross. I don't think I can
In
do
a
it.
beer. In a beer. Although it's like 6%. I can't complain.
All right. My vids are likely worse. You know what? I gotta say, doing YouTube is really not easy. In order to, like, one of the first things you have to do all the time is clean your work area. Like, you can never do a video with a dirty work area. And if you're like me, I've never had a clean work area. My desk is usually a shit show.
My desk is almost 100 inches long. and see, this is the thing that I use. So back when I was at work, we used to print off like all of our scripts. And you know, when you're doing like 30 spots a day, that's a lot of paper. So what I would do is instead of throwing them into the recycling, which admittedly would not have been necessarily a problem, is I would actually cut them up into quads, and I would make these little sort of makeshift like notepads out of just the recycled paper. Just because I find it, especially in this job where I'm constantly writing down dates and cart numbers and ranges of stuff and titles of stuff, it's really nice to have these little sheets around. So I find what happens at the end of a month is I get all these little pieces of paper lying around with all this random shit written on them. And I'm like, wait, which ones can I throw out? Which one? I can't even read half of these. What the hell? So, yeah, my workspace gets full of these things.
Yeah, and you know what? Like with it's cleaning, but then it's also, then you got to get lighting. The camera doesn't matter as much. Your lens does. You need a wide angle.
Yeah, your body is, I mean, it's good to have a good body because better low light performance generally.
Well, but your glass can do a lot for that, man.
Yes, it can. If you have good, you know, like again, I've got a 50 mil 1.4, and other than the fact it's a 50 mil, I love it.
Yeah. Oh, well, the new mic that I got, it's a 1.8.
The new mic?
The new lens I got, the 1.8.
The Sigma, yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. The crop's a little close for me because I'm going from a 16 to an 18 for a crop. But as far, like, I just had to move my camera back a little bit, and I'm fine. And
How far back are we talking?
An extra 8 inches.
So now total distance from subject to camera is what?
3 feet.
Okay,
3.5 feet.
that's pretty good. That's manageable. It's workable.
Well, and if I was on, if I had an 18 on a full frame, it would be perfect. Like the thing would be up against me.
Oh, you're on a crop sensor then?
Yeah, I'm on a CMOS sensor. So it's, CMOS. What a fuck.
Yeah, well, like they're all. Well, no, actually, they're all CCDs now. I think. Aren't
Yeah, no. What the hell is the name of the Canon sensor? Anyways, wow. Friday.
Yeah, I know the Nikon's the DXFX. I don't know what Canon's terminology is for it. It's the same shit.
It's the same
It's the
thing.
same shit.
How many angles of video can you show on your setup? This one. That's
You
my
need a
whole
video
setup.
switcher, man. Get a video switcher. What are you doing, you slacker?
I want to get an A10 Mini, but all I've got is my cell phone. As you can see, I've got a boom above me, so I've got the boom for
I
my
like
cell
all
phone.
I like all the Shure propaganda there. That's good.
I don't react like Bandrew. I just put the stickers on something. Doesn't bother me
I
at all.
have a drawer. I have an entire drawer of like Xbox stickers,
See.
Gibson stickers,
Well,
Fender stickers.
You know how Bandrew ranges about stickers on
Oh yeah,
podcastage?
yeah. It's one of my favorite parts of his episodes. I love it.
Wait till you see Monday's video. You are going to see something that's going to blow your mind, okay?
All right,
That's
I'm
all I'm
down.
going to say.
I'm always down to have your mind blown.
Bandrew's first video was very eye-opening. I didn't know how to take it. I did not know how to take it.
This is polar different from what it is now.
Switch in OBS using Droid Cam OBS. I want to have an actual 3-camera setup with an actual switcher, a physical switcher, so I can do live streams from over there. I also have to get a streaming computer set up. So I've got a lot of money to spend over the next little while. I would like to have the A10 Mini for being able to switch between them while doing many things. I do want to get a second camera for above shots when I'm unboxing and doing stuff on there or working on something. Other than that, my setup's good to go. It's golden. Like, I have no issues with my setup. I'm changing out this Husky bench for a table. So I'm going to replace my desk with a 12-foot long desk. And I'm going to make sure
That'll do you good.
yeah, then the 7-footer will be a presentation. So when I'm doing a video, you'll notice the mic shakes. That's because that bench is on wheels. So if I tap it, the bench shakes a little bit, which shakes the mic. It pisses me off every time I'm doing a video.
I can get that.
Andrew was not someone I trusted a few years ago.
Oh,
Much better now. Oh, wow. That's Bangs just came out swinging there.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would never have necessarily vocalized it prior to this point. So thank you, Banks. But the first video that I saw of Podcastage, something didn't sit authentically with me for some reason. I don't know.
No?
It's different now. I have a different sort of interpretation of Bandrew Scott now.
I haven't watched his old stuff. I only started watching his stuff about a year ago. Like I didn't do a deep dive on his stuff.
I see.
Oh, it's
do you know
technically
when-
Bandrew Wilf. We're talking about Bandrew from Podcastage, and
Yeah, another guy.
it's
Different guy.
it's not that. Like, I don't do a deep dive on his channel. If I'm looking for specs on something or kind of reviews, he's the first one I go to.
Yeah,
him and
he's
Booth
he's very thorough,
Yep.
which I like. I like that, attention to detail. I think the first video I ever saw was one video where he was talking about knockoff U87s, and he had a bunch of different. He had the actual U87,
Yeah.
and then a bunch of knockoff variants. From like Warm Audio, I think was one of them, and then he had it was an interesting comparison video, but
He had
I
some
don't know how old it is.
rap suggestions back in the day. Oh, to be fair, in my first video, I said the Blue Snowball's a decent mic to start your podcast with. I do kind of stand by it. I mean, it's a microphone, but shut up, Dylan. Let's go. Shut up.
No.
The first time I ever saw the King Bee reviewed was a mic roundup by VoiceOver Body Shop, and I still remember that was the King Bee branding works. You know what branding was all over that bloody mic? Is the fact that they painted it black and yellow. That's branding. Yes, it works, but at the same time, I don't know if I would show up to somebody's voiceover studio and if I saw that on the mic stand, if I would still hire them. Anyway, is a crop sensor like a crop duster? Close.
Yeah, that is useful.
I have one webcam and 3 old Androids, an S5, an S8, and an S10. I must
Holy
work.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, just put them all on tripods around. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Easy peasy CF Wheezy.
See,
Boom.
and I'll also go back to a lot of younger, a lot of newer YouTubers. When you start out and you're trying to do the whole the YouTube thing of recommendations, it's hard to wrap your head around, but nobody gives a shit about what you recommend when you first start out, and you try and
Just
you're like,
just present the facts.
yeah, you try to have
and
a
they'll-
hot take.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a hot take video, which I still get hammered for today, is the Shure 55SH. Is a decent mic, but the problem I had with it is I couldn't mount it to anything except for a desktop
Oh
stand.
yeah, because the stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, the stupid thing. And I'm like, I still stand by that. It should be, if that is an issue, they're like, oh, you can go buy the extra mount for it so you can plug it in. It's fine. You just got to go
that's
buy.
dumb. That's a Band-Aid solution. Sure, make better products.
But it's also like, why should I go spend more money? You should include it with it. If that is the issue, why are you making me go back to the store for to spend $20 on something? You shouldn't have to change your setup for a microphone. Anyways, hot take on that mic. It was one of my first videos that ever started getting traction. And people are like, fuck you. You don't know what you're talking about. This is the greatest mic ever. And it's just a 55SH.
I mean, it looks good. I'll give them that. But is it the best mic ever? Qualifiably not.
It is bright as hell. Holy crap,
yeah.
is it ever bright.
But it's. I wouldn't say it's bright. I would say it's present. Like
Yeah.
the sibilance is bad. But
Yeah.
does it have actually like sparkle and crispness to it? No, it just has bad sibilance.
Yeah, horrendous sibilance. Dimebag says, S5 over my shoulder showing the whole setup. The S8 is over my overhead camera, and the S10 is used for a close-up coin cam. You know what? Honestly, as long as you have great lighting, that would be a fantastic setup. The lighting is what makes everything. The camera is almost secondary. The Epoch Cam app makes iPhones and Androids really decent wireless, or better yet, wired cameras for streaming. I've never tried my cell phone. The cell phone would probably look fantastic. Midnight Wolf, the 55SH video saved me money. Thank you. That's amazing. You know what? Considering how old that video was, and I actually purchased that microphone at Long and McQuaid. I reviewed it, and then because I was going to keep it. It was only 250 Canadian dollars. I was like, you know what? This is a cool, like, I can put it on a mic stand. I can play live with it, and let's have some fun. But then that pissed me off so much, I actually walked it back to the store and returned it. Like, all I can do is live shows with it. That sucks. Bought by Elgato. There we go. I think we're near the end of the show here, guys. It's 6:22. My dogs are going nuts again. Yeah, I know, eh?
Time flies.
It does. And appreciate you guys coming. What? You looking drunk? Are you getting drunk?
No, just agreeing with what you were saying. We both appreciate you folks coming on.
Yeah, no, appreciate it.
And watching us rant.
Thanks for coming out, guys. I think it's next weekend. There won't be a show. I have my father-in-law coming out on a Friday, and he's helping us move our air conditioner. It's our outdoor air conditioner. He's actually moving it around because it's underneath a deck. Whoever built
the condenser unit.
Yeah, the whole thing's underneath the deck, which...
Why?
I don't know. Who the fuck does that with an air conditioner?
I don't think that's the code. Like, yeah, it's
no,
not
it's
legal.
No. They actually, when we did the inspection, they're like, that's not supposed to be there.
Hopefully you got some off the closing price because of that, because that's kind of dumb.
No, the thing was from 1982. So the air conditioner. So it's one of those
they were making air conditioners in 1982.
Dude. This thing must have cost a mint. So we're moving it around to the side of the house, and also it won't cool off the house after a certain point because can never lose heat. Like
it's under a fucking deck.
Yeah, and you open up the deck, and it's like whoosh. It's like opening the oven when you open the deck.
Oh, no kidding. The fan's just blowing. Like consolidated heat.
Yeah, it's
all
bad.
over the place.
So we're moving that. So that means probably not going to be a show next Friday. However, we will be back after that. I think it's next Friday. And then the Friday after that is the day after Canada Day. So totally, eh?
All right, bud.
All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next week or the week after. Sorry, I just